Let it be known I respond well to requests. So in order to understand a raglan sleeve, we have to bring in the shirt pattern into this. Now, in a raglan sleeve, you essentially have a seam there, so you chop off that area of the shirt, and then you move it over to the sleeve. So you literally take that piece, move it over to here, and what that ends up having is your sleeve now has part of the neckline inside the sleeve. Now, the section that you chopped off the front of your shirt goes onto the front of the sleeve. The same section that you chop off the back of your shirt goes onto the back of your sleeve. And then you have a sleeve that looks kind of like this. And now you have no shoulder seam because that shoulder seam got incorporated into the sleeve. And your sleeve goes all the way up to your neckline. Okay, next up we have a drop shoulder sleeve. The way a drop shoulder sleeve works is basically this shoulder slope is supposed to be the length of your neck to your shoulder, but a drop shoulder extends that shoulder slope past where the tip of your shoulder should be and has a very shallow armhole. And the way that you alter the sleeve to do that is that shoulder seam doesn't hit here anymore, it hits down here. So you make your sleeve head even shorter in order to accommodate for that drop shoulder so that they can get sewn together. The more dropped your shoulder is, the shorter your sleeve head is, to the point where on some loose-fitting garments, your sleeve head just looks like a wonky rectangle. Now, the way a Batwing sleeve works is they essentially just decided to get rid of a separate piece for the sleeve. Remember how I said a sleeve is essentially a rectangle that is a tube for your arm? With Batwing sleeves, they were like, yeah, let's make it a rectangle, and instead of a separate rectangle, let's have it be the same rectangle, and in order to have this area not tug horribly, let's add a whole bunch of fabric, so then it looks like a design choice. And that is how you get Batwing sleeves. Alright, now how do sleeves on blazers work? Basically, sleeves on blazers need to have like a little extra slit right at the wrist in order to have your fancy cufflinks and stuff. And in order to do that, they add an extra seam in because it's extremely difficult to put one of those slits into the middle of a solid piece of fabric. They want that hitting towards the back of your arm, so they basically chop off the back part of the sleeve and then it's two separate pieces. Like that. And then they sew this piece and this piece together all the way until about there, where they do not sew that, so that there's a little opening that they can sew other little pieces of fabric to create a little slit. I ran out of time for tulip sleeves, so that'll have to be later.